Hello, we're back. Welcome, my name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And this is our Bars and Bells Strengths and Swings class, week 1, semester 4. We're back to classes. Well, then I made that mistake on the title slides. Well, I didn't count the summer semester.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Fair enough.
Semester 4 plus or minus 1. We are back to finding our groove with our get-ups today, our handed swings. Let's get back our hinges, but first we'll start with a body weight warm-up.
The basics with that body weight first. Maybe start with your feet just a little bit turned out from the hips and those feet. Maybe that's where you swing from, but feel free to explore that as you go through today. Then at the head neck, start with a lateral bend, meaning an ear towards a shoulder. At this moment, consider moving the neck very little and the head just that little bit to get an ear to a shoulder, like this. Return to the middle, and the same thing one more time, other side, also return to the middle. Then let's do that same pattern or action through the rib cage. So with hands across the body and lightly squeeze shoulder blades together. From here, up and over, return tall in the middle. Similar thing, other side, to the middle. As we're doing this again, move the rib cage, but not the low back, so contain the shape to be just over the hips without reaching. Next, flexion extension at the head neck. Do a chin tuck, probably looking down at the ground or similar, and then extension of the head neck there, chin towards ceiling. Now bring the chin down or the crown head high to create the flexion shape, and then pull the back head, the head down, the chin up to get extension. Then finish looking straight on the horizon. Next, the same action through the rib cage. So with those little shoulder blade squeezes together, always helpful cues for the kettlebell. Start by flexing or rounding forward, and then pull down on those abs. We'll engage that shield later too, and get the shape to look up. And repeat one more time. Shoulder blades retract, casually flex or round forward, and engage those pull down muscles on the abs to support the length or the extension shape through the rib cage. We'll add that rotation together once we describe that lunge, but from here, narrow that stance, warm up those ankles and feet. Let's get down to the floor. It's the knees over the toes. From there, we'll squat in later practices, not today as much, but push those hips over and pull up the kneecaps. Repeat one more time, those knees over toes with flat feet, and crank the glutes, squeeze through, and gently always test that shield. We'll prepare that again as we go down, but this time, warm up those lunging feet, because that's Lauren's favorite, or at least specialty, and now press the heels to the floor. Repeat that one just one more time again and safely burn those quadriceps. Be careful not to overload the knees, and then go feet flat. But this time, let the heels come up as we continue our descent to the floor. Quietly, awesome like that. Knees to the floor, hips extend through, and that's just about enough for me for now, and off to Lauren for an extended warm-up.
All right, let's get into that lunge position as promised. Right now, vertical front shin. Then, if our hips were that bowl of punch, let's check in with that punch bowl. Let's first hike it up so much our punch spills out, and then let's try to pull the punch back in. Doing that one more time. Shoulders are staying level, but the hips are hiking, and then they're pulling down. Now we're gonna spill the punch forward or out your belly button. So we're gonna do a light anterior tip or tailbone to the ceiling, and then we're gonna scoop under the hips, pulling the punch back in. And one more time, tip to the ceiling, and then tuck under. And as you tuck under, keep pulling that front femur in to maintain that vertical front shin. With that light tension, so that should be one leg pulled in and the other hip pushing forward. Let's feel that hip extension here with the back toe tucked, then our cage down. Now we'll continue to feel that extension as we pull on the front leg and gently drift ourselves knee towards over the toe. And then we'll keep the hip extended as we push ourselves back to tall, 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 tall. Let's do that again. Drift, pulling forward, knee towards over toe, and then press ourselves back up to tall. Now we'll push the floor forward and back, so change the forces, so much so you could come to a hover. When we're in this hover position, our chest is still on top of our hips. Let's continue pushing them back and slowly ascend. We'll keep the back hip extended, the front knee bent, and we'll pull ourselves back down. Let's just get to the position and hold. And one more time, push forward and back all the way up, and then pull yourself down. We'll pause in the hover, knee just off the floor, and then feel that burn. And same thing on the other side. So let's do it all again. Other shin is vertical, back toes tucked, cage is down, pelvis, punch bowl lifts up, punch bowl pulls down. Repeat again. Lift up, pull down, then tip towards the back wall, and then tuck under. And again, tip towards the back wall. This time as we tuck under, we keep tucking, but we pull the front femur in and we feel that extension on the hip. We continue to pull on that front leg as we drift knee towards over toe, maintaining that hip extension, and then pushing forward to come back to tall, tall, tall. One more time there, drifting forward, cage stays down, and then press yourself back to tall. Now we start pushing the floor forward and back. Pushing, pushing, pushing so much so that back knee hovers. Hold. Continue the forces pushing forward and back to rise. And then again, pull down, back to the hover position, staying stacked, hip extended. One more time. Push forward and back. Pull down, pause in that light hover position at the very bottom, and then soft landing. Knees come underneath you. And we'll probably put our hands on the floor here.
Awesome. So we're warming up those wrists today and talking to the shoulder blades, also integral parts for movements like the swing and whenever we hold that kettlebell. So on the all fours position, fingers, calluses, full hands grip, looking at the hands and starting with our first knuckle push-up. Get the fingers and the callus lines or the knuckles to stay on the ground, and then gently roll or articulate from the pinky side of the hand towards the index. Keep the elbows straight, ground the floor. Good ideas for the feet as part of the deadlifts or swings as well. And then return full hands to the floor. Repeat that just one more time. First knuckle push-up and roll from the index towards that pinky side of the hand. Find grounded with all, bless you, all of those callus lines or fingertips, and then return to the floor and push the floor away, extending the hips through. Shake it out. Let's just do one gorilla fist style here to make a little bit more room through the wrist flexion. This time, peace sign digits, that's the index and middle finger there. And Gesundheit number 3, and pack the shoulders down. Gently, always check in first, stretch over the back of the hand, and then press the back of the hand in the floor to return back up to the stacked position. Repeating, gently approach the flexion of the oval shape on the back of the hand, and the strength is pressing down to return to stack. Repeat that one more time, flexion, and then the extension is the strength to come home, and final one, flexion, keeping the elbow straight, and back to stack. Now very quickly, just go back to the original shapes of those hands, more conventional for push-ups and planks, and hopefully that feels more grounded and more room. If this feels safe and good, let's go to the shoulder blades next. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, that's retraction. Elevate like a shrug, and then wrap the shoulder blades around the body, pressing into the floor. Pull or depress them back down to the hips, and then retract together. Now just for once, they're retracted and then pressed down. Now protract or wrap them around the rib cage, elevate the shoulder shrug one more time, and then pull back down in retraction and push away to the floor. Hold your hands out front, whether it's the deadlift with the arms down low or as part of that kettlebell swing, the arms will be out front and it's back and keeping the rib cage down. For today's practice, and almost exclusively always with the kettlebell, the shoulder blades or the armpits are worn down and retracted together. Then want to relax some of that tension away as well. As we invite Lauren to join us back here in just 1 second, how are you feeling with the bodyweight warm-up as we get towards that kettlebell? Does the kettlebell get up with a load sound familiar? Check it out. Lauren has her shield of abs on, the shoulder blades are retracted, and of course she's breathing, even though it looks easy with bare hands. Go over.
Breathing through the allergies here.
That's it, that's it.
We're going to lie on the floor here and start today's practice with one get up on each side. If you're familiar with this get up, let's use our kettlebell or start with that body weight. If you're unfamiliar, follow along with an imaginary kettlebell. We will start no matter what, with or without that bell, in the cuddle position. So starting in the cuddle, we'll roll to our back and we'll press the bell up over our shoulder. The same leg is bent, foot flat on the floor, other arm and leg flat on the floor out to the side. We use our foot to drive the hip and to pull on the elbow. Then we find our hand. Next we'll do our bridge and our sweep underneath. Hand will leave the floor. Front foot will square up into our lunge and we'll hippity tall. Now that leg you can touch will drop back, pull yourself down as practice in the warm-up. Step, rotate, hinge, sweep through. Find the elbow. This isn't a crunch. It's a push away from the elbow to return to your back. And then 2 hands to pull down. Return the bell to the floor. Let it go and spin yourself around. Do the same thing on the other side.
So on the other side, again, it's getting a nice firm grip with the kettlebell, minimizing the space between the wrist and the bell with the grip. And roll to your back and press to that firing range or first position for the get up. As Lauren described, it's a hip extension. Push through the bent leg to the elbow, followed by our tall sit. Then we'll bridge and sweep and press through the ground to get tall in the lunge and square it up. Hippity hop and use those abs to the top. Find yourself, then pulling yourself down. Open up in the windmill, grab the floor, sweep through, sit tall, out on the elbow as well, and core plank tension to the ground. 2 hands down, and maybe just like usual, and no handed variations on the way top.
Back to our 2-handed swings this semester. To start, because it's for everyone, let's first review our deadlift or our hinge. Our hinge is integral to our kettlebell swing. If you spend this whole practice hinging tonight or doing your deadlift, you better hinge. But doing your deadlift instead of our swing progressions, I would love that too. For now, let's stand right over top of our bell. Remember when we hinge, I like to say there's a rod that goes through your spine, through your head, and it comes out your butt. And that rod cannot bend. So as we hinge here, we push our hips back and we keep those vertical front shins. For the first time, let's just touch the bell. I want you to feel the load through your hamstrings, through your abs, through your lats. Pretend to lift the kettlebell, let it go, stand up without, drive the hips all the way through. If you feel comfortable picking up this bell, let's do so. If you don't, pretend again. Hip hinge, grip, pack shoulders, inhale to base abs, hips drive through, hip hinge, bells go back down. Let's do it again, pack shoulders, up to pick it up. When you put the bell down, almost put it behind you. Let's do 2 more. Load up hammies, load up abs, tight core at the top. It's your front abs that stop, not your low back at the very top. And then hinge, bells go down, up without. Whew, whew.
5 is enough. Sometimes we challenge that number 10, but today just stick to numbers of 5 to groove those habits and set yourself up for success in this first workout, and then the second, third, and fourth, and fifth as you go through this semester of strength this fall. From deadlifts, we'll be going back down to the floor and repeating that variation on the get up. Does that load feel appropriate? Does it need to be a little bit lighter, maybe even heavier, or just as Lauren suggested earlier, body weight?
We'll start in that cuddle position and follow our routine again with the cuddle roll press. It's all about the setup, so make sure we have heavy limbs as we get to the elbow. Then to the hand, to the bridge sweep. Press the hips through, square up the lunge, up together. Leg you can touch drops back, steps open, rotate hinges, sweeps, elbows, push away from your elbow, return to the floor, bell comes down, cuddles and lands. Oh, such an inefficiently efficient kettlebell move where every muscle is working in about 30 seconds.
I like it. And we'll do the same thing now on the other side. So it's always those shoulder packs with nice firm grips on your bell and a effort to get it to the first position. Then we'll drive through the hip to get to that elbow. Tall sit, press through the floor heavily. Bridge and sweep, looking towards that kettlebell or the ceiling helps stabilize it. And now square up, tall stand, hold for a second pose, and then return to the ground. Windmill hinge, find the floor. Sweep through, find the elbow, core brace to the floor, the 2 hand down, and then the same idea, no hands on the up. Oh. 2-legged squat for Lauren, that single leg squat for me, but maybe I should try my other side because it's always harder on one than the other.
So last time we practiced those 2-handed deadlifts. This time we're going to take a step back and we're going to set up for our swing, learning the first step of our swing, which is that hike pass. So pulling the dip to our zipper, our pants, and loading up our core and loading up our hammies. So I like to stand behind my bell. How far, you say? Well, you might do a little. Rotate one foot out 90 degrees, and then you're going to pivot on it. And then you rotate the other foot out 90 degrees, and you're going to pivot on it. And then you'll rock yourself back and forth, square yourself up. Then we'll hippity hop hinge. We'll tip the bell on its side. When we do that, we should be able to pack those shoulders. You're in the same hinge position you were in our last move. Let's just hold this for a second, then let the bell go and stand up without. Continue that progression, or let's add a pull with our lats to our groin. Hinge, tip, pull straight arms, bell goes down. That bell should land softly. Let's do 3 more. Our abs are loaded. Our hamstrings are loaded. We're pulling with our lats. 1 more. And then bell goes down, up without. If you found your bell was smashing on the floor, what's likely happening is you're reaching too far in front of you and your weight is shifting. You're having to land on that kettlebell. So keep the bell almost closer than you think. Great.
One more time.
We should do that one more time.
Groove that pull in this hike pass. I'm behind one, so let me catch up with Lauren's 1 and a park. And then pull it and pull and park. And if we did that a couple more here, let's refine the breath. Take a breath in before the pull, exhale on the park. Breath in, pull, park,
Pull my hamstrings are tired.
and stand up. Always ways to refine that kettlebell swing and enhance the strength and the safety with cues similar to rooting the feet and core strength with the breath.
I'm going to feel that tomorrow. Woo. All right, we're going to lie down and we're going to do round 3 of our get-ups. You know what? Let's spice it up. That was my spice. Could we start our press? Should we start our bell from the top down?
I like that.
If pressing a kettlebell overhead right now isn't for you, start on the floor, do a get up all the way up, a get up back down, just like we've been doing. If you're ready to join us for a fancy get up, let's take that bell to the rack position, press it, and full get up down. Over top of our bell. Hip hinge. Pull to rack, press bell overhead, a leg you can touch. Step back, step open, rotate hinge, sweep, elbow, push away to your back. Now come back up, elbow, hand, bridge sweep, press through, front foot, up, bell pulls down to rack, 2 hands, place. Whew.
I love that variation. Thank you for integrating that today.
So fancy. Second side.
Second side. It's that hike pass. And core brace, full body tension for presses, and a drop lunge. The windmill rotation. Sweep through. Sit tall. Now press on the floor again to create that stable core plank. And then drive through the hip back to the elbow. The tall sit, the bridge and the sweep. Press the floor away. Square up lunge to the top, and now pull down that kettlebell. The slower, the harder. Fill in those gaps. Don't let gravity do the work. Throughout today, we've done everything kind of together, and sometimes we'll train like that. Other times, it'll be this I go, you go series of repetitions. So as Lauren does a first set of some stop swings, that's one unique swing, I'll describe it, and then Lauren will describe as we do it. So choose a team, brand new. Let's listen to me and go with me in a second. And if you're ready to rock, like Lauren is, 5 repetitions of our stop. It's a tip of the bell. I'll pull to the groin, 1 unique swing out front, followed by back. The breath precedes that initial pull, and the high tension there throughout. The kettlebell achieves just about that chest heights position, return to the floor, and I hear Lauren's breath. I can feel the floor shake with the power, but I don't hear very much of the bell on contact with the floor. It's efficient, it's strong. I hope I can do the same.
So if we just went, we're taking a break, shaking it out, and Team Ian is going. So it's that tip of the bell as we practice, the hike pass as we practice. At the topmost position in our kettlebell swing, we're at the top of our deadlift as we practice. But this time the bell is out front. I like to imagine my arms are ropes and I'm holding that kettlebell, but they're not Sorry, I lost my thought.
Good analogy.
So they're basically attached
lifting
to
it.
my hips. They're not lifting it. That was
Yeah.
what I was looking for.
Yeah, nice. So we'll do that one more time here, but always feel free to go back to the preceding moves. That could just be your deadlift, and that could just be those hike passes. This is set number 2 and rep number 2, followed by high tension on those abs. Don't stand in front of someone's kettlebell. That's not so safe. Give yourself some room, and give yourself some opportunities to keep refining your kettlebell swing. That's
So
5.
it's Team Ian here for
do it.
another set of 5-stop swings. The other thing I like to think about is in this range here, we call it the float zone, which means technically, please don't try it, but you could let go of that kettlebell and it would float there. Okay? We want the hips to drive the bell up there. We're not lifting the bell. We're not squatting the bell. We're not pressing the bell. We're swinging it and we're guiding it back down.
Nice.
So our goal today was to get back to doing 10 get-ups. To do that concisely and because it's good for us, we're actually going to do 2 in a row for this final set of get-ups here today. We'll do them as regular, starting on the ground, lying down.
Nice.
So come on down, first side, 2 full get-ups, and then the other side. We'll start in the guddle. We'll roll to our back and we'll press. So 2 full get-ups here, grooving the hip drive to the elbow. Finding the hand, the bridge and the sweep. Push through. Use the forces to push forward and back. Always come to tall. And then control yourself back to the floor. Looking up at that kettlebell. As you return, keep the bell up. Let's do a second one. Hip drive. And bridge sweep. Press through. Square up. Stand up. Come back. Open up. Rotate hinge. Sweep. Elbow. Back. Bell comes down. Returns to the floor. Same thing. Other side.
Nice. We don't encourage you to talk through your warm-up. Keep your focus, but maintain the breath. If you're holding your breath throughout, it does make the recovery a lot harder as well. So take a breath in perhaps there and to the top. And then a drive, the elbow, toss it. Then and now a nice exhale to the top there. Now pull yourself down with control. Open and windmill and sweep through. Find the elbow and then to your back. Repeating one last time. Drive the hip, up. Toss it. I take a breath in there and sweep. And exhale to the lunge. A breath in and then a quick up to the top again. Final move there. And we'll pull ourselves down. Windmill. Sweep through. Find the elbow and up to the ground. 2 hands. Cuddle down. Come up. Barehanded. No-handed. And final really move in. Let's have those surprises up her sleeves. Swings. I go, you go. Sets of 5.
I'll warn you, I actually have no surprises today.
Ooh.
I'm going to stick to the script with our first class back. So I go, you go, let's go. Ian goes first. Ian does 5 swings. We watch. Then we do 5 swings. He watches. Here we go. 5 continuous swings. Remember, if you're not ready for 5, do less. If you're not ready for swinging, do deadlifts. If you're not ready for either, sit back, relax, and watch.
Enjoy. Stay strong. We're sweating a little bit here, but I could do more if I had to, but it's only session 1 of a bunch here. Let's take our time progressing these skills. Once you've done 5, park it. Something that's loose in between can help the recovery as well. And then final set of the day.
Final set.
For 5, aren't we?
Oh, I was going to do 5 sets.
Oh.
I guess I wasn't sticking
Okay.
to the script.
This is number 2. That's a surprise. There you go. Here we go.
Surprise. That I didn't do a surprise. So this is set 2, 5 rounds here, if that's okay with everyone.
So I still feel pretty okay now that I'm on 2 of potentially 5 sets. But save some in the tank. There's always ways to do more. But just do enough to feel strong, challenged, and encouraged to do it again.
Set number 3 for Team Ian. If you need to sit a set out, go ahead As we take a break here, we're shaking out the arms, shaking out the quads, staying loose, being able to gather some more tension for set number 3 for us.
In studio here, I was teaching that kettlebell swing not too long ago, and a new student said, "Are my arms supposed to bend when it's out front?" No, not really. They're like ropes. Keep them nice and taut, packed from the shoulders, engaged on the core.
Set number 4 of 5 here for Team Ian. We're breathing in and out the nose in our recovery. We're still matching the breath when we swing, so that strong exhale as our hips drive through, so we have abs at the top.
Abs at the top, glutes throughout. The foot tension again is pushing out and out and out the entire time, matching swings to breath in the swing pattern and slowing it down in between.
Last time for set 5 for Team Ian. One more set of 5 good swings, keeping it tight. Breathing, strongly exhale. Keeping the abs braced as the bell comes to the groin. Bells go down.
So you're using the hamstrings to stop the body. Stop the bell and not the body or the pants. So making sure the wrists stay strong and neutral, the kettlebell goes out to the back, and it's always quietly replaced to that nice park position.
In these classes, we like to finish with our breathing drills. So let's open our nostrils and close our mouths. Take a nice breath in, and a nice full exhale. And a nice breath in, and a nice exhale. And we're trying to expand that rib cage 360 degrees, not just up into those high neck muscles, but to expand here, 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 making that bra strap really get tight there. And if you don't have one, good for you. And exhale. And 1 or 2 more. Big breath in. And exhale. And let's add 1 with rules. Inhale for 4. And hold for 4. Exhale for 4. And hold empty for 4. And then breath in. Ooh, nice. Semester 4/5. So for definitely class number 1. We're back to get-ups. We're back to 2-handed swings. We'll continue to add that volume and work on our skills over the next 7 weeks.
And then if that's a Tuesday, on Thursdays, Lauren showed one of those presses, which I really appreciated. I'll be doing more of those kettlebell presses with hip mobility exercises on the bar side of the room on Thursdays at 4 p.m.
So join us then. Join us anytime in the archive on YouTube and Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. for some bodyweight activities like crawling and progressing our handstand skills. Until then, remember to like and subscribe. Check out our Patreon. Check out our website and subscribe to our newsletter. And take care.
Stay strong.
Let's train soon.
Have a good day.
Goodbye. Oh, my legs.